Now we're starting to see how we're starting to move across just credit card stacking. Again, credit card stacking is a fantastic way to really get it off the ground going. But when we're going more advanced and we want to start pumping money into trucking, we want to start pumping money into real estate deals. You can't swipe for some of this stuff. You need physical cash in order to go out and make the purchase. Remember what we said about sometimes when you're purchasing a vehicle, if you wanted to use a BLOC for it, so that way the vehicle, the deed gets handed to your business. It's no longer attached to the bank. So now you own the car because you paid for it on a BLOC versus if it was on just a regular term loan through the bank, right? So that's just also how I want you guys to view this. Now, there's PG and then there's also non-PG. I like to call this more of a hybrid funding model. This allows you to tap into pretty much best of both worlds, where you can go with some EIN only products and you can also go with some PG products. And so keeping it kind of like along the same framework. This one right here, I put them as like the one that I don't like. I'll leave it the way that I say it. I don't like this one, even though I have it here. The reason why I left it on here is because it's so easy to set up. Mm-hmm. And this is most likely the one that people are getting rad. So it's Chase,
all the time, bro.
US Bank, FMBO, Citizens Bank, Divvy, and Capital on Tap. This is most likely the main hybrid funding framework that you're seeing out there, right? Now, I don't know if they call it that. This is what I call it because this is like how I view the banking system. This is how I view the world. But this framework right here is, I'm not the biggest fan of it because you pretty much have 2 charge cards thrown into the system.
I mean, now, in this case, I'd rather just have like 3 American Express charge cards, bro.
I could just have 3 American Express charge cards. The only reason I included this one in here is because every now and again, you'll have someone that says, but I want a non-PG, I want a non-PG, or I want EIN only, I want EIN only. You got it. You got it.
Have fun with your non-rewards.
Non-rewards. You pretty much have a glorified charge card. The only upside that I would see is maybe you're getting a little bit of extra reporting on there over to the business credit bureaus. Other than that, it's really not that sexy, right? I would rather you swap it out with Amex. I didn't even add Amex in any of these because I wanted to give you guys a traditional baseline. Amex is so easy to get that you can literally just swap them in there for maybe a Citizens Bank. You can maybe even drop them in all the way at the bottom, just because Amex is just one of those that if you're going to prioritize a little bit tougher ones to get, it would be this one. But you can include any bank that you already have a relationship with, right? So this would be the first, I would say, hybrid. Number 2, at the bottom, it gets a little bit different. Instead of having the Divvy, instead of having the Capital on Tap right under Divvy, I'm swapping it out with maybe a Blue Vine. So now I'm going maybe with the FinTech BLOC at that point, right? Now, the difference with this is, remember, it's a bit more advanced. So your business needs to be established for at least 2 years in order for that to work. And you need to have at least 10K, I'd say 5 to 10K coming in on average over the last 90 days into your account. If you're not there just yet, maybe stick to the first 3 funding frameworks that I gave you, which is stated doc. This is where right here we start to get a bit more creative with some of the revenue that we have coming in and some of the credit that we already are able to leverage. Here's the 3rd funding framework that I have for you guys. This is the one that I would prefer. This is the one that I like to tell my clients, I want you guys to jump on this. I would rather you take this route versus, if I'm being honest with you, this route. I know Divvy and Capital on Top is cool, but they're charge cards. With these right here, this is how you want to set it up. And so everything from Chase, US Bank, FMBO, Citizens Bank, and GM Business, Goldman Sachs, I actually added that on here because they're underwritten by Goldman Sachs. They're pretty easy to get. The only thing that I would say with Goldman Sachs is that if you actually open an account with them and then you put at least $2,500 in there, let that sit for 30 days, then apply, we're seeing way better approvals. Just a little side tip with GM. But going back to Universal Fuel and BP Business Solutions, in the beginning, or they're going to be non-PG, right? Like, go back to the call from last week when I broke down business expense cards. That's what BEC is. In the beginning, what you can do is you can get yourself a Universal Fuel and a BP Business Solutions card, right? What you want to do is you want to have regular spend on that. Those are going to be regular net 14s, net 25s, net 30s. So you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're aging that account, you're building the relationship, and then you're also getting your business credit built out, right? What ends up happening is right around 60 to right around 120 days, sometimes longer, but if you're using it the way that you should, which is constantly in your business, especially for those of us that are in trucking, you can have a pretty quick turnaround time, 60 to 120 days. Once that seasons, it then flips over. You get an invitation for the Universal Fuel and for the BP Business Solutions to, again, graduate into an unsecured revolving MasterCard, which now you can carry a balance if you wanted to at that point. That would be a hybrid model of what you have here. But the way that you would want to set it up is you would kind of want to extend the time horizon on the two bottom cards. Does that make sense, bro?
Absolutely, bro. That was deep, but I love it. That was good.
So remember, fleet cards graduate into unsecured credit cards. Most people aren't going to teach you this, by the way.